A handful of islands off the nation's Pacific coast is literally dripping in tons and tons of one of its most historic treasures. You got it, guano. Here millions of birds fed by anchovy-rich waters poop round the clock, discharging a dirty, potent, fishy cocktail of phosphates and nitrates. More on this topic is the one and only Guano Boy. So what are you exactly? A player, a goalie, or a mascot?
Like all players in the NHL, we find we're getting slower. So a few years ago, saw the need for a superhero in the big room. So I became Guano Boy like my forefathers before me.
So you're from Peru, is that right?
That's right.
Is guano still the treasure of Peru?
It has been since the time of the Incas, has been a national treasure, and the Incas first found it on its footsteps as they came back from walking the beaches, and the birds used to fly overhead and try to poop on us Incas, but we ducked it, and later we would find that this guano would be great in growing in the garden, and so because it contains very valuable nutrients like phosphates and nitrates.
And it's pretty much a gold, like it's a hot commodity in Peru, and I understand you're collecting this all for yourself?
Oh, my forefathers have been in the business for many, many, many years. My great-grandfather used to mine guano from the caves in and around our family home. And in fact, when he was walking on the beach one day, he met my great-grandmother, and in fact, I brought pictures for you to show them my ancestors.
Okay, what do you have there?
Well, here's great-grandfather right here, and I don't know if we can get a zoom in for this. And this is the early mining of the guano, and it was again Peruvian, one of the gross national product, just like Bolivia had crack cocaine. We had phosphates and nitrates, and of course.
What's the other one?
Well, of course, that was my darling grandmother. Once he was walking along the beach, and he looked up, and it was love at first sight. Unfortunately, great-grandma was pooping at the time, and that's how it all happened, and that's how I became able to fly.
So, I mean, that must have came in really handy to fly, because I can only imagine what the stink would be like working in the fields of all that guano.
Well, there's many perils of working in the fields with, first of all, there's other Peruvians. They're pretty crazy people to begin with. But yes, the nitrates, if you actually farted, you could have the whole country go up in smoke from the explosion with all this guano around. So I had to get out of there. It was fairly dangerous.
That does sound very dangerous. But, you know, it's a good thing that you and your family are doing, because doesn't it help a lot of the middle class or the lower class people? Doesn't it enable them to provide for their families?
Well, there's a lot of people that live off guano, and you're absolutely right. They think it's the bottom of the food chain, but when you take a look at the nematodes and the other people, especially in the big room that feed off guano every single Wednesday, you know, it provides a healthy living for quite a few families.
After leaving Las Vegas, you're flying to Vancouver, right?
Vancouver is one of the, outside of Peru, probably the largest known deposits of guano. In fact, dressing room number 2, it consistently has more guano than any other place known. We've seen it in the satellite pictures.
And of course, you're referring to this beer league hockey team that you now play for, the
famous Hamburger Hockey League. Exactly. It's not really a league, but it gets us out of the house on Wednesday nights.
And so, are you trying to promote guano within this room, or you're trying to just spread the guano around? I mean, what's your job?
Well, I came thinking that I could offer guano to the rest of the boys, but when I saw it piling up around the skates of your Baron and my Rage, I knew I had a gold mine on my hands, and I don't need to produce any of it. There's plenty around to go around.
Well, I wish you all the best, Guano Boy. Guano Boy, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, you guys. Thank you very much for having me here today.